Thank you, Madam Chair. I got a lot of questions from my constituents as to why I put my name on this bill. And I want to just kind of go through some of what's in this bill and why I think it's important that we pass it as a body. Certainty is really the answer. The good representative for Monument and myself ran one of the largest ballot initiatives in Colorado's history back in 2020. And I'll be honest with you, the groundswell of grassroots support, all of the people that were engaged, there was no doubt in my mind that we were going to win at the ballot box. And there was a prominent person who said to the good representative for Monument, "We are going to confuse your voters and we are going to win." And I thought there was no way they could confuse our voters to win, but they did. The question needed a no vote, and they confused our voters thinking that they were protecting what we were fighting for with a yes vote, and they won. And so I put that on the record because I think it's really important for people to hear about how it is easy to confuse voters, how it's easy for voters not to realize the impacts of the decisions that they're making. And so certainty is the reason my name is on this bill. I also think the policy is a good policy, not perfect, but it is a good policy. And what I think this does is it balances the interests of local governments. I was a former county commissioner, and in that role, I had to balance a budget based on property tax. And so I have this experience. There are 4 other people in this building that have that same experience, that has had to build a budget based on property tax. And those local governments, I'm currently a county attorney for a small rural county in southeastern Colorado who doesn't know what their budget is going to look like today, because if we have to go to the ballot box, they have to wait to determine all of this property tax policy that will affect whether or not they'll be able to build their budget. And so they've talked about building 2 budgets, one to address if it passes and one to address if it fails. They only have 1 budget officer. And it is incredibly difficult for her to figure out how to build 2 budgets. And we had that same issue last year when we had a ballot initiative. And so I think it's really important that we provide certainty to local governments so that they know what essential services they will be able to provide, so that they can make the hard decisions as to how to provide for their communities in public safety and public health and human services and all of the things that county commissioners and local governments and special districts and school districts do. So certainty is the reason I put my name on this bill, because I think it is so important that not only local governments have certainty, but the people of Colorado have certainty. Because let's go through the scenarios. If 108 and 50 pass, they will not see property tax relief until 2026. So their property taxes will go up, and then they will go down. But we all know, I don't know about you all, myself, I'm an instant gratification kind of girl. And I want to see that tax reduction on my property taxes when I get it in the mail. And that's not going to happen. And so we just have to be aware of that. And if this does go to the ballot, people need to be educated about that so that we manage their expectations. If it fails at the ballot box, then basically there won't be any additional property tax relief. And that is also something that people need to understand. I think, and I know I speak to my colleagues who are knocking doors and talking to people every single day, that the people are suffering, and they are asking us to bring forward property tax relief in this special session. It is why we are here, to do the people's work. And that's why my name is on this bill. I also want to talk about the local property, the opt-out from the cap. Local governments will have the ability to ask their people if they need more money. And local governments do that. We do that all the time. And so then the people can decide whether or not they want to raise the cap or not. And then finally, I am on this bill because it protects the senior homestead exemption. And in our communities, when we're talking to seniors who are trying to decide if they can stay in their homes, they need that senior property tax exemption. They're living on fixed incomes, and this bill will achieve that. It wasn't an easy process to get here. I will say I am glad that my name is on a bill with the speaker because it is a bipartisan bill and we did some good bipartisan work. Again, it's not perfect, but it is something that will deliver immediate relief to the people in our communities who are suffering, with the certainty to know that if we pass this, they will get that relief, and our local governments can plan for essential services that they need to provide in their communities. And most importantly, we protect our seniors as well and help them stay in their homes if that's what they so choose. And so with that, I know we have another amendment, Madam Speaker, that we are going to bring up that addresses some other concerns that we have heard. We've been working through this process very diligently and stakeholdering, and we appreciate all of the conversations we have had with members and outside our stakeholders in this process. But this is a good bill. And later I will ask for your aye vote on this bill, but I'm gonna ask for it as well right now. I am putting my name on this bill because I believe in the policy we are bringing forward. I believe it is the best policy and the most certainty for the people of Colorado, and that we have a responsibility to deliver property tax that is certain to them today. Thank you.